Hi, Auntie.
Okay, I'm almost ready yet. Where's my mic?
Yeah, we're live, ladies.
We're live. Woo. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Yeah. What's a girl have to do to get a
Some wine around here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What will you do?
Anything, right? Anything.
We ready? Let's do this. Big girls don't cry. They never do. Why would we?
No.
Everything is working so well for us. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Let's dance around a little.
It's over.
I'm showing off my J-Lo shorts, everybody. Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you,
I love
Cole.
pockets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm excited because they're shorts and not just a wide open crotch.
Hey, you know what? I knew you were going to be here. Emily's the crotch police.
She's crotch area.
Exactly.
Lily.
Where's the
Oh, yeah.
rope?
Yeah.
Tied together.
That's right. You want the rope? Oh, if you need it.
You know,
I got
Lily's a
some rope.
lady. She knows how to keep her legs
Isn't that
closed.
weird how unlike me you both are?
No.
Actually, I don't think they know who I am. This is my first time on.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming back or joining us for the first time for Big Girls Don't Cry.
Woo!
Yeah. Our regular co-host, Amber Rose Burns, is on vacation with her kids before they start fake school next week. So she's in
Did
Texas.
you say fake school?
Fake school.
Yeah.
Homeschool,
Yeah.
fake school.
Yeah.
So she's in San Antonio, Texas, with the kids and the ex-husband's family. Hope that's going well, Amber. Anyway, we miss you. And I'm joined by my usual handsome and fabulous in-shop producer, Mr. Mike Vinn.
Hey, everybody. Hello.
Semper Fi, former Marine, hilarious
Right.
comedian. Could not live without him. No one could. And this is a really special a show for me and for, I hope, all of us, because my beautiful daughters, Emily and Lily, are co-hosting tonight. Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so that's why the theme for tonight, the kind of, that we're going to hold on to, that we probably hardly ever get to it,
Farming.
is farming. Farming and all kind. Yes, Emily is a farmer. No,
No, just kidding.
it's mother and daughter relationships and mother and child relationships. Definitely not just mothers and daughters, right? So because like it is often the most. It is, I think, the most important relationship in your life, because fathers just aren't as good. Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean it like that. Right?
I mean, a dad, they're great.
Right.
Do the bare minimum.
Right.
That's fantastic. Moms
Yes.
have a lot
Yes.
have a lot to do.
That's a great point. I think that might be like like a great way to think about why the mother-daughter, son-mother relationship can always be more tangled up, because there's so much more at stake for the mother. You're right. All the father has to do is occasionally say, let's talk about something you care about, dear.
You'd watch a baseball game together.
That's
it.
Yeah. Hey, Campanelli played very well today.
Yeah.
Oh, I have the best
You're
dad.
the best job.
Right. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
So you're right. I think that the stakes are higher. So it's been a weird week, huh, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A
A little off. Maybe it's like just the dog days of summers might be starting up a little bit. Plus COVID together. I have talked to so many people. Mike just walked in. I said, "How you been this week, Mike?" He said, "Man, I've had the COVID blues." Right, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah.
A little bit.
They closed the comedy store,
They
so.
closed the comedy store.
And that's, I think, what started off sadness in our community, because we worked so hard, and especially by we, I mean Mike and Ryan and the whole staff at the Comedy Store La Jolla, trying to get the outdoor shows going. And they were going great. It was so much fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then
Oh, yeah.
Sunday night, the cops came and shut everything down. They had to refund the tickets to all the people and everything.
And this weekend's tickets, too.
And this
Oh,
weekend,
yeah.
They're almost sold out.
of course.
You know what I
Yeah.
told Mike? That they took such care when
Oh,
they
yeah.
were opening the comedy store. They
Right.
made sure everyone was properly distanced. They made sure everyone had their temperature checked. They made sure everyone had masks. I felt so much safer going to a show at the comedy store than I did going to Walmart,
Yeah.
Target.
It was only 40 people.
It was
And
only
a
40
huge,
people.
huge space.
It felt so good to be normal.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
felt so good to
Have
laugh.
laughs.
Everything you're saying, if you look on the Instagram of when we had to announce it, there's like 200 comments of we felt safer at the Comedy Store than we have at any other place.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, don't worry, we're writing the mayor and the politicians and getting the petition going and doing everything we can so we can try to open again.
Right.
So.
You know, I feel when I talk to people lately, and I'm this show, we don't get political because it's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down. You never find the rabbit. The
Never.
rabbit will be dead.
Right.
And pregnant.
No.
That's how I found out I was pregnant. I talked about politics with this guy one night. Boom.
Oh.
You were born.
Heyo.
And
My dad's John F. Kennedy Jr.
yeah, her dad is John.
Oh.
She finally found out. That's where those beautiful blue eyes come from. Man,
It's sitting with a Kennedy. I had no clue.
you know, can you imagine me
welcome.
getting near a Kennedy cock? I don't think so. That had a little thing on it going, no, Vicki Barbolak. But not that I wouldn't have tried. So I just feel though that you know, where a lot of people are feeling like we have all these restrictions and we respect the restrictions, but also, you know, at some point it's the blanket restrictions, the blanketing of rules. Like,
Right.
you know, that feels so, you know, we're going to have to get used to it, but I feel like we're all getting, I think that's part of the, everybody's kind of feeling like the other night, some people were to dinner and we are very careful. We all wash our hands before we eat. We're all around this great big table. And at the end, the lady, one of the guests goes, do we hug now? I go, no, we don't hug just because you drank a bottle of wine. We don't hug now.
That's funny.
But she goes, I just don't know how to, and we were outside, right? The gazebo thing. She's like, I just don't know how to act. I go, I know. The thing is, you have to be like, I just think, I get alcohol really loosens up people. So, you know, like you go into a place and you're very careful with your mask and then you leave. But the Comedy Store was so careful, you know, and everybody was like gone. And I just, and I think that a lot of places are being really careful. And I just feel like, you know, could we be a little smarter about how we're doing this?
You know, are you winking right now?
Oh no, it's hilarious.
Because it looks like you're winking to me.
No, okay, this is it. I had a pain in my left eye the last couple days, and I'm flying to Appleton tomorrow. Yeah, first job on the road, first job on the tour, and I didn't know what was happening, so I called the teledoc, not teledoc, but another one, Babylon, that's cheaper. Anyway, I called them. And she said, hello. No, she was lovely. I could hear her very well.
Oh my God. It's because it sounded like she was underwater. She's not doing
underwater.
she's not doing an accent. She's just saying
I thought it was more
like a
I thought she could do a
No, it was
something is wrong with the phone.
Right.
sorry. The
Right.
Babylon app worked perfect. And
Nice.
this lovely nurse practitioner, Ashley, had me lift up my lid and she goes, oh, I see a bump there. I go, you think it's an ingrown lash or something? She goes, it could be, but it's definitely a cyst of some sort. And you need an antibiotic. So I took it, so now I'm an antibiotic. And my first job on the road plus my podcast tonight, so I decided I would only put makeup on this eye. Oh, and she also said I had to throw away all my eye makeup and my brushes.
Oh my God.
I'm like, bitch, I haven't worked in 5 months. That is like, you know how much we're talking about? You know how much Maybelline we had to go and replace tonight? Yeah, a lot.
You know you're
Oh
gonna
no,
return.
absolutely.
I'm going to return it. You know,
No,
in the day, I would have. That's the thing about COVID. It's really changed a lot of our
You
habits.
would have returned it with a big sty in your eye?
No,
Hey, this-
God, no.
Oh.
No. I
Maybe she's
would.
born with it. Maybe it's maybe.
My sigh is a maybe. That's what. No, I would at Sephora. I would. Not.
I guess I just really wish for all people who like can't see close up on what her eye looks like. Like I like people for deep purple for the one eye and like
And a lash.
a
And
lash,
then out.
full on, and then
All the way.
nothing on the other side.
Well, you
Like,
know-
that's what I like. It's full eye makeup and nothing.
At least I'm not wearing a pirate patch. My friend Shanika, her mom Ginger, once she had eye surgery and she went to this big party with Shanika's friend that night. She shows up with a pirate patch. And he was like, Ginger, what's wrong? She goes, oh, I had eye surgery today, so I didn't want people to notice that one eye had makeup, one eye had none, so I put on a pirate patch.
Oh my God. It's less noticeable.
Yeah, so let's
And no
so
eyeliner.
At least I didn't patch up. No.
Sometimes people think I'm missing an eye.
Guys, I wonder if that's gonna be like a big hipster trend one day, like pirate patches, like
Oh,
for
for sure.
fashion.
Start it off.
I feel like I'd be the coolest kid at the beach.
Well,
Yeah.
the trend of like lensless glasses.
Oh yeah,
Like
no.
if you don't need glasses, it's a trend to like
Yeah.
wear fake
Yeah.
glasses. Like you wear
Let's
Wow.
bring the
kind
pie
of
patch. I feel like with a mask and patch, like
Yeah.
you know, it's like
Would you go
I see
further and do a
something.
hook? Like,
Yeah.
would you?
I mean, I don't know.
That's how I feel about belly button tattoos. I feel if you have a belly button
Do
tattoo
you need a
and
belly ring?
belly ring tattoo on your a belly ring. Sorry, that tattoo is not a ring. A belly ring like you have. I always think it looks like a hook on your tummy. So when you walk through like Kohl's and you're gonna just hook a bunch of hangers in your belly button ring. Does that ever happen?
So actually, this is a good thing for mother daughters, I guess.
Yes.
I took mine out when my husband and I decided that we're trying to have a baby.
Oh,
So mine's actually kind of my belly button ring's no longer there, but I do miss it. The second summer came, I was so sad.
why is it something to do with getting pregnant that you can't have a belly ring in?
No, I think I just thought if it could heal my belly button piercing now, that when my belly gets all big,
I've heard
it won't stretch. Yeah, we heard it stretches out. It's real gross. Real gross.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
Joke's on me. I haven't gotten pregnant in over a year.
If you would have kept that belly button ring,
I would have gotten.
Get
Yeah.
a bit-
Joke's on
There
me.
you go.
There's I think this turned out really a great thing that happened this YouTube for our show. I don't know if anybody tried to access YouTube this week, but I heard from a few people they couldn't access the show on YouTube, and I'm like, well, I can't do anything, so I don't know what you're talking about. But it turned out that YouTube shut us down for 3 days. Do you know why?
Why?
Yeah, this is hilarious. Eddie, who does all of our like technical and social media help, he's a
He's
genius.
the best.
Yeah, it is.
Really, honestly, a good guy.
He sees it go down, and he reads why they said it's going down for a sexual content.
Wait,
He did say
Content.
Kennedy.
No, it wasn't that. It was the photograph at the beginning of the show, which shows Mike in the chair, Amber and I, fully dressed,
what?
nothing here. Our logo. They said it was sexual content.
The
Our
outline
logo.
of the woman
Yes, and Amber and I and Mike.
sitting there
Sexual content. Yes. Why?
because your crotch was hanging
Because
out.
we're fat women,
Well,
okay, with big
maybe.
boobs. No, I'm not kidding
Or
you.
maybe because your crotch was wide
No,
open.
it was not wide open.
Oh,
On my photo,
Sure?
on our,
I know.
you guys know this really is true. And you look at our podcast logo. My legs, okay, maybe it's something. Not much, okay? So, not enough.
All my friends were texting me.
No, stop it. No, our logo. It wasn't.
Not the
it was
first
they
show,
shut
though.
us down
This
because
is
of our
right.
logo.
Okay.
Still.
And this week on Twitter, Nicholas Williams, of plus size. I'm just gonna say fat because I hold the fat word and I'm gonna use it. She's fat. She's a beautiful model. She's been in Vogue, and she had some professional shots taken. Put them up on Twitter. She's like holding her tits like this. They took them all down.
Oh.
And why? Because she was fat and probably black, and she was that fat and white too. You know, they took her down, and then there was this huge hashtag I want to see Naoma movement, like 40 to 100,000 people at times wrote it, and they put them back up after 4 days.
Good.
And Ed, he talked to the people at YouTube, and he said, "What's sexual about this?"
Right.
Two beautiful women,
You're just sitting there.
and Mike,
Well,
What?
I mean,
Yeah, Mike.
and they said
sexual.
Mike
Epitome
is
of-
too sexual.
Yeah,
That's
too
not
sexy.
bad.
Sex alarm went off.
Too sexy.
I'll put on more clothes next time.
So, you know what? I do think the bottom line is just too damn sexy. The three of us together are too sexy for YouTube.
Yep.
Which is
Female
very
empowerment. You know, it's a problem in America.
I power that.
There's a double standard for dress codes and bigger girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Lily was in middle school, she was taller and more developed than everybody else.
Right.
And I don't know, do you remember there was like, you got some dress code violation for like little short shorts or a little strappy thing when every other girl was
Yeah.
wearing very
Exactly.
same little short
And
shorts.
that followed me all the way through high school. I went to a Catholic school my first 2 years. I got written up I got written up for my skirt being too short for so long. I never shortened it. I never did anything. I'm just 6 feet tall.
And
I've
I
been
got
6 feet tall since I was in 8th grade.
and I got the bumper sticker that says my daughter dresses like a whore at St. Anne. So very proud of that.
A
But
horror role student.
horror role student.
Oh, but
no, but they did think that you yanked him up, and you didn't. You were just that.
No.
I was seriously, I was 13 years old, 6 feet tall.
We bought the longest size they had.
and it's like, if you're developed, if you're curvy,
Yeah.
then people think that that's almost obscene, but
Right.
that's just your
Yeah.
body.
No, and I honestly, like, so I'm like a little bit like obviously a younger generation than you are, and I feel like I'm really active in like Instagram and like influencers, and I actually feel very differently. Like I feel like they like influencers who are plus size are really taking that back. Like they're showing their bellies and their high waisted shorts, and it really like empowers me as a woman. And
Right.
You said it, and that's what happened was YouTube, Instagram reversed their decision.
Good.
And they called her and apologized. I had a meeting with her, and she said, "Tell me why. Tell me why you pulled me down." And they would not tell her why. But the thing is, I really am excited for. There is a huge movement towards body positivity, and we're feeling it. There's going to be a big backlash because that always happens. But we're just ready for it.
Mhm.
But I think it's a wonderful thing. I mean, the girl who danced on AG Lucinda this year, the plus size, the big girl dancer, and she was amazing. And Simon and everybody Simon loved her. Heidi buzzed her,
Aww.
but Heidi got a lot of flack for that. But she didn't mean it like that. Heidi just didn't think the dance was good enough. Heidi didn't not love her. So Heidi's really supportive of.
I think Heidi just
plus
saw
size.
like I think she doesn't. I think she just sees talent and just.
I think
Right.
the standard at AGT is so hard.
It's so
You just
hard.
see like incredible talent
Right.
from around the world. How do you pick?
Also, yeah,
Do you remember, like, before you went on, we had to practice what would happen if you got buzzed?
we
Yeah,
did.
Like,
we
'cause you
did.
just don't know.
No, we had it already. With you're the third buzz. You still got to go,
right?
Mom.
And she didn't get buzzed at all, but
Thank
it
God.
was like,
we were.
it's something you have to prepare for because, and how do you keep going as a performer when someone's
Right.
saying they don't like
Right.
something you're doing?
And Simon Cowell had his accident this week, which was so
Oh
terrifying.
my
I
god.
think that Simon Cowell, anything terrible can happen to him. And it was so hilarious and graceful. What he said was, anyway, if you buy a Lenovo electric bike, read the manual. That was his message to people and his gratitude for the nurses and doctors. And Heidi Klum said he's already up walking around because he's so amazingly fit. And, I remember when we were at AGT, he was so stressed and I offered to walk delicately over his back.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. We came this close.
I'm glad you didn't hurt him.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do it.
Oh.
It turns out he had a very weak back. I could have been blamed for that. Had I done it.
Simon Cowell is the nicest person I think I've ever met.
Yeah.
Like just the genuineliest,
Genuineness.
most
Good
genuineness,
new word.
most genuineness,
Yeah.
genuine person, and he was so welcoming. He just reminded me of like a front porch grandma, or an aunt. Just like, hi, how are you? And just like, I was so nervous, and he was like, it's great to see you, and like, he was so gracious and welcoming, and he's just like Christmas with a bow.
He's like Christmas. Yes.
I love him.
He is. And, I sent him a message to ask if he wants me to drop off a Grand Slam because we never did get to do that because of Denny's.
I would cheer
But I
him
think you would like it very
Mhm.
much. A little Grand Slam there. And you're home in Malibu. Yeah, like I could get through the gate. But anyway,
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure you could.
it's possible, Mike.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I don't know unless you try.
I can't get into a trailer park in Malibu, but maybe I can get into Simon's house. He might trust me. Who knows? Who knows? They actually had the gate guard that would not let me in there. It was hilarious. Come on, I just want to. No, you're not getting ever. We were talking. With Emily and Lily. When I first told them we were going to move into a trailer park, they didn't know what kind of trailer park. Like there is different kinds. They thought we were going to move into a Lily. She was so little.
Oh my gosh, I almost vanished this from my memory until I forgot about this until you said it.
She thought we were going to move into a travel trailer park.
Mhm.
Yeah, like an RV park.
Yeah, like an RV park.
Camping one, yeah.
And she had probably never even been to a trailer park before, really. So
I was 6.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were actually 7, but almost 8, but that's okay
Oh,
as time goes.
okay.
Anyway, and Emily and I drove around, and the first trailer we bought, we paid $11,000, and the guy was he was a transsexual, right?
He had we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But like there was stuff in his trailer that would suggest it.
Oh, he answered the door one time in fully dressed, like Lana Turner.
I thought that was his wife Bonnie.
And it wasn't his wife, Bonnie. Yeah. And then he also had a huge amount of guns in that house.
Yeah.
And he wanted 18 for it, but he liked Emily so much, he sold it to us for 11. You remember?
Wow.
So that was our first trailer. And I remember thinking, I was really nervous for you guys to move into a trailer, and how it was at that point, you know, when and we had some problems at home, and Emily and I agreed that we needed to get out quickly, and we got the trailer, and I didn't know if you guys would be all right living in a trailer, and I started feeling, I was very, very uncomfortable. Even though I think it was a beautiful trailer, I was really worried about you guys being embarrassed.
From day one, it was a safe haven. It was such a fun place. Speaking of Simon Cowell, American Idol, Paula Abdul, the day we moved into the trailer, I don't know if you were packing or busy, but Lily and I we played Paula Abdul music and we danced around the trailer in
We
socks.
pretended to be ballerinas.
Yeah.
I remember
Cool.
that because there was
Yeah.
nothing, there was no furniture yet, so it just looked like a big ballet studio.
It did look like a big ballet studio, and we rocked out to Paula Abdul, and it was like from day one, it was like a really happy place. Like,
Yeah.
So glad.
And,
Day
and like for the years on, like building off what Emily said, like our house became like the fun place for all our friends to hang out because you made it so fun.
Well, that's it. It was.
and we had a pool at the trailer.
We had a
park.
really cool pool at the trailer park, and it was a
Awesome.
beautiful view. And I'm so glad, because I think that I think in terms of mother-daughter relationships, mother-children, son relationships, I don't know if any mother thinks they're doing it right when they're doing it. But I was always just thinking, man, I'm messing this up on a daily basis. And looking back, like the other day when we did that high school show on our podcast, I asked Emily if she had her yearbook she could bring in. She told me she never bought a yearbook because we couldn't afford a yearbook. And I burst into tears because I'm like, I couldn't afford to buy my daughter a yearbook. You had to walk around the hallway with nothing to sign. I mean, that knocked me down last week. And I keep trying to get over, my feelings of all the things you guys, didn't have because we were so broke because I decided to be a comedian. And that one just hit me out of nowhere.
But really, with specifically the yearbook, I felt I had this really, still have this really cool friend, Megan, and she's super punk rock. And me not having a yearbook, I was able to instantly twist it into like, you plebes in your yearbook, walking around signing it like a bunch of chumps. I'm so glad I don't have a stupid yearbook. I'm stupid. And so it was like cool because it was like I could, I just definitely twisted it around like I'm the cool guy without the yearbook. And I swear, Mom, we had so much more fun being, your daughter and your daughters and following you around to your like beginnings of your comedy. Lily was really little. I was a teenager, and we got to go hang out in green rooms and drive up to LA all the time. And like,
I remember we'd go to Vegas a few times, and we stayed at this one hotel that had a bowling alley in it, and I felt like a bowling American princess. Like American princess, like a Meghan Markle going to a bowling alley inside of a.
it was
inside
a
of a
trailer
hotel.
Meghan Markle.
Yeah, trailer Meghan Markle.
It was.
Oh, I love her so much.
I do too.
We love me.
It was like we didn't have like fancy things, fancy house, fancy clothes, whatever, but we had such a fun life, and I wouldn't change it for anything. And I really think a lot of my friends would have traded places with me too. They would have like given up their gated house community to go have fun in our trailer.
My mother and I, we had a relationship that was like a little bit like missed ships in the night. And I always wished that, later in life that I could have known her as one of her friends because she was so much fun and everything. But for some reason, we just never meshed till luckily the last year of her life, everything worked out great. I got to take care of her, and I just knew that I had the right mother. Like the last year of our life was a wonderful time. And now I feel like she's with me all the time. But I feel like, the relationship that we've had has been like the kind of mother-daughter relationship that I always wished that I had with my mother. Though, I've still made so many huge mistakes with both of you, as a mother, like I used to micro criticize you, Emily, because I thought, well, I was not calling you a dumbass loser all the time, that I was a great mother, but I was constantly picking at you, and I had to learn that. And with Lily, I feel like there was time that I was just there as a big sports mom, but was I there enough at the other time because I was gone so much? And I just feel like, I think that every mom looks back, could I have done better? Could I have done great? But I also feel like there's a lot to do with how like people always say to me, "You're their mother? Are you kidding me?" Like at Lily's school one day, the assistant principal goes, "Lily's so nice, and you're so well." No, I'm not kidding. No, people have said this to me. They're your daughters, and I always just calm them down and say I adopted them, just to shut down the conversation.
I have to tell you, we don't think. I know. Well, for me, I don't think at all about the negatives when I think about you as a mom. I mean,
no.
I think moms put that pressure on ourselves because we love our kids so much. Overanalyze every little negative thing we've done or mistake or whatever, something we should have done better. But when I think of like you as a mom, I just only have like the funnest thing to say about you and the best thing to say. And like, I would have to list things all day long before I got to like, and sometimes
she went into tonsil surgery. I'm afraid of going to hospitals. The first time I took her to the doctor, they would give her a thing, and I got to the doctor's office. And when she went to get her tonsils out, I said I'm not going, and I took her to some holy water, and she thought I was giving her last rites. I mean, I have made some horrible mistakes, and I'm so glad you guys are so kind. I think that's a thing that mothers must know, is that our children do forgive us if we're lucky.
Well, so like, do you, like, my question to you, like, I've kind of been wondering this a while, because like, you're so hard on yourself, Mom, and like, I'm not a mom yet. And like, Emily, you're so hard on yourself as a mom, and I think this might just be something that I hear you guys saying that all mothers do. They just look back, like, but can you look at our relationship now and be like, wow, like that is special. Like I think as adults, like I've enjoyed knowing you even more.
Yeah, I think that is absolutely true. And I feel the relationship that I wanted with my mother, I got that with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had that with my mother, but we had enough. And She had a great relationship with my brother. So she's had a great life, and she was an amazing woman. But I feel that I did get all that I wished I would have gotten with my mother with you guys. And there's no doubt that I feel like one of the luckiest people in the world to be your mom. I'm not kidding. And I know how lucky, because I know that the reason I think there's so many struggles between mothers and daughters is, there's just so many women are just stressed to the point because they're not able to be who they want to be, who they could be because of their circumstances. And there's sometimes the mother part is the symbol of what they couldn't be, instead of what they, what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes there's a feeling of resentment about being a mother, or having or feeling like you burdened your mother, or your mother burdened you. And I remember I always felt like my duty was to take care of my parents the whole time I grew up, and it was okay. And I think there's a lot of people who are in that, that we're caregivers for our mothers, and then mothers that are just so duty bound to care for their children that they don't find any space for themselves, because it's just the way it is. And we talked about at the very beginning, in a loose way, men, I mean, it's changing, but fathers have to do so little. I mean, Mike, you've become a really involved father.
Yes.
Yeah. My wife, I married a woman with 2 kids, and I become a very active stepfather or parent figure in their lives. I mean, this morning I took him to school to get his book so he can do his homeschooling and stuff like that. And
did you do the drive-through orientation?
Yeah, went through drive-through stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been going on for a couple of days, so it was like easy in and out, which was great.
Nice.
Because when we went to return the books, it was like 2 hours of
Forever.
sitting in the car.
Yes.
And we got to screw around. But yeah, I do whatever I can. Like, I'll pick up extra work around the house so she can sit there and be with her kids.
Yeah.
Right? So they can have those moments. Because I think it's more important for them to have those Cheerio moments.
Yeah.
Where it's just, just them joking around, doing whatever.
And you're clearing the
to
table.
sit there and drink whiskey and watch sports.
Right.
That's so good.
Like a traditional stepdad would.
Yeah.
You have that joke.
Yeah, Well, Mike, you're just funny. Like, but one of my sister and our favorite bit that you do is just like how much you love your wife. Like it's just like I love my wife, no, but I really love my wife. And just like I don't even think you planned that, but it's like just exudes from you, and it's just like all over. And it's like
sometimes I'm like, you know what? If he could just not like her so much, so much more.
Hey, you guys, you don't know Nikki very well.
She's great.
I love
I know.
Nikki that
She's
much.
wonderful.
I'm not even
right?
married
Yeah.
to her.
She's great.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
No, she has a problem when her friends are bitching about their man, their boyfriend or whatever. She's like, I can't relate.
She's like, he helped me so much today.
Right.
I feel very lucky. I feel like my husband's going to be a great father.
He is, yeah.
And so, like, there's a lot of relationship fathers and stuff, and but there's that saying that some people it really helps that you don't get to choose your father, but you do get to choose the father of your children, and that's something that like I feel like you should really hold men to high standards when you're looking for somebody to be a partner.
Information I could have used years ago. No.
There's also the saying something like parent-child relationship. You have two chances at a parent-child relationship. The first one you don't have any control over. The second one, because you're the parent.
Right.
You can set those new standards.
Yeah.
I have to say, many times, at least a dozen times, I've had to call you in the last 15 years. I've been like, I have 30 seconds to be on the phone with you, and I need you to fix my entire life that's falling apart right now. And each time you hit it out of the park with amazing supportive advice. And I'm like, who can do that? You're like a wizard of support and encouragement. And then you have like these gems that are just like so good. Like one's about forgiveness and one's about like just problem solving. And I'm like you're so
And then sometimes you just want to run me over with your van when I'm toddling out in the beach chairs.
Well,
it's just like you don't listen to our
thing.
advice. If you listen to our advice, this would go a lot better. But you have gems. We call them mom gems. But
Yeah.
it's really you thrive under pressure.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like, I think women, we really need to, hopefully, I think men are evolving to the better side. And because I just think that, if to be a mom, a really good mom, you have to have time to know a little bit about what you want,
Right.
But on the other hand, there's a bunch of moms who just work 45 hours a week at one job, 20 hours a week at another, and still find a way to be amazing moms, because I know them and I've known them. And so I think it's all about love, as much love as you can bring, and being, of course, careful. At one point you told me, Emily, we got to get out of here. And that we packed up and we were out of there in a week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you got to keep your kids safe, obviously.
Right.
But beyond that, there's so much guesswork, in how you do it. I remember my mom used to always run around the house going, "You little sons of bitches." And we go, "You're right on. Say it again."
Can I tell you a pet peeve about being a mom for me? Of being a busy mom, an overworked mom, is when people say, you need to take time for you.
Oh, I hate that.
You need to do something for you.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm going to drop my kids off at your house.
Right.
People would say that to me when Tim would be deployed for a year.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm like, F you.
Right.
Or a doctor's like, hey, your back, you really need physical therapy. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Want to watch my child while I go to physical therapy for me?
Yeah.
Right.
What are we going to do?
You know
Are
what
there
though?
physical therapists that have childcare? Like, is that I'm not a mom. I don't know.
There's
Are these options out there for women, like childcare at an appointment?
There
No.
should be.
No.
I know of one secret one.
Well, there's just your car.
You're right, your car.
Past the window.
And, or it's
Your car and a little video camera.
and my oldest is special needs, so I get an amazing
Don't leave your children in the car.
caregiver once a week.
Yes.
She's amazing. And so, but when Tim would be gone, I would use my respite hours to go to the physical therapist or to go to the DMV or whatever to run errands. And then when really you're probably supposed to be using that time as like actual respite to like rest. It's like chill.
Like, but you can't take like 3
Yeah,
kids
what
and
are you gonna
especially
do?
each child to the DMV
Yeah.
for 4 hours.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? And it's just it's such a go-to to you see a stressed mom who's tired and out of, or a dad like if he's a stressed parent who's got no time and their kids aren't going to school because of COVID, so everybody's homeschooling. It's such a horrible thing to say, like, you just take some time for you.
Oh yeah, right, and just some yoga.
Just some
also.
yoga. You know what? You just need to go on a walk at the beach.
We do have people writing in.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
First one is Wendy Baker. She says, my mom and I never had a real good relationship. We never went shopping together or did any kind of mother-daughter. My mom now suffers from dementia, and even though our relationship wasn't good, I still love her and will always take care of her.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's hard, but that's a lot of grace and forgiveness, and
Absolutely.
Oh, Wendy, that's beautiful. When you're in your last days, you look back and say, I lived a good, rich, wonderful life.
Dementia is such a hard disease. So, like I'm a biostatistician and I work in Alzheimer's research as well as oncology. But just like hearing the stories of dementia and Alzheimer's, it's so hard to be a caregiver. So hard.
And I know you probably, Wendy, I feel this. My mother and I had this kind of relationship. She was never abusive to me, but she was verbally abusive. But that's just how she was raised up. Anyway, it wasn't her fault. But sorry. But anyway,
no, I'm sorry. It happened to
I
you.
got to take care of my mother through her last year of her life, and I was really, really grateful for that. So I know you're going to be grateful. You are grateful now, but it's really hard to do what you're doing. So kudos to you and much love to you for your beautiful example for everyone.
Right.
And remember that, girls.
Right.
Remember what Wendy said.
Yeah. Also, take some time for you.
Take some time
You know.
for you. Sure, maybe some yoga.
Yeah.
We have another one. This one's really good. Gina in San Antonio writes in, I was wondering if you have an idea of how I can tell my mother that I'm moving far away.
Oh my gosh.
There's more.
Oh, okay.
I was offered a huge job promotion in another state, and I will have to take it to keep advancing in my field. My husband, we're talking about husbands stepping up.
Right.
My husband is in the house, is the house husband.
He's in the
and
house?
caregiver for our children.
Oh.
But my mother is a loving, wonderful grandmother. I just can't bring myself to tell her we are leaving, and we only have 2 months before we will be going.
Oh God!
We have so much to say about
this.
this. It's so pertinent.
story.
This is the most timely question for our family.
Oh yes.
Long story short, none of us are going anywhere.
Right. But here's the thing. So Emily, her husband military. So she luckily never had to leave more than like 4 hours away.
I did move 4 hours away, and my mom cried hysterically, and so did I. But
And when I
That was
thought
only
she was
4
going
hours.
to Okinawa, I thought about opening up a comedy store / whorehouse there.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. But go ahead.
yeah. But
So
Lily, tell what happened. Tell what happened.
Bananas and jokes.
So So I went away for 2 years. I lived in Denver, and it was miserable. 2.5 years. I went to graduate school. It was miserable, and we would Skype each other and watch Project Runway over Skype.
That was cool.
And that was before Zoom was so big. And
Yeah.
so we had these 2.5 years of being away from each other, and it was just
2.5.
awful.
You were gone for 7. Undergrad 2.
Well,
you were
undergrad
Monterey.
too. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So it was. We knew how hard it was to be apart from each other. So, but now I moved back. The second I graduated, my husband and I moved back home. And so we have these really, really great friends. My husband's name is Mike.
They live in the shed behind the trailer, by the way. No, only kidding. Just kidding.
We have these really great
Real house.
friends, and my husband's name is Mike, and the husband that our friends with, his name is Mike. So I go to my mom and my sister, and I talk to my sister. I said, Heather and Mike are gonna probably move to Hawaii because Mike got a job, and my mom had been away and came into the middle of the conversation.
No, sorry. Emily and I were both together. You said Mike has been offered a job in Hawaii. Emily and I were both
Do you do improv? You're not supposed to say no to somebody.
In the story, you're supposed to say yes, and
so
I was driving by the lake.
yes,
and-
so I'm
crazy about
I
me.
misunderstood. I mean,
Nuts
I
about
misremembered. All I know is that all my mom heard, because my husband's name is Mike, and my name is Mike. Is my mom heard Mike got a job offer in Hawaii.
Yes.
And
That's right.
she knew that Hawaii is like the ultimate to our family.
You
Like,
can't compete with
the
Hawaii.
trailer park, like girls inside of us would just think of Hawaii as magic.
Right.
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 My
There's
mom,
no
Mom said, of course she's gonna go. So immediately, when she thought Mike got a job offer in Hawaii, she starts bawling and yelling and crying because she thinks I'm gonna move away to Hawaii. And in all realness, if we did get a job offer in Hawaii, I would have probably said yes.
Of course you would.
The dry run,
The driveway
we all freaked
did not
out.
go well. Didn't go well.
And then Lily's friend, should I change her name?
Yeah.
I already
Donna?
said it. I already
Lily-
said
okay,
it.
I already
Lily's
said
friend
Heather.
Heather said to Lily, how should I tell my mom that we're
And I
moving?
said, I don't know what to do.
It's
'cause
gonna
it
go
didn't-
bad.
So
it didn't
you
go
are in
well.
the same position that I felt that I was in, and that Heather is in, and I got to tell you, you're making a choice to take your grandchildren away from your mother. So
That's
guess
what you're the advice you're giving her?
No, I'm saying what's happening in her mind.
Oh,
We
okay.
didn't even answer the question. We're
We're
just
talking about the
saying
question.
that
So we felt
it.
We know the depth of
So-
what you're going
so
through.
how do
It's
we
a
answer-
hard.
So as
super
can I go
honest.
as a mother first?
Yes.
As a mother, I want you to understand, she is just she feels like really you would choose a career move up, even though she wants you to be successful. You're going to take my grandchildren away. I mean, you want my liver here? I mean, I just have to say, it's a lot. She's going to come around.
Yeah.
She's going to come around.
Yeah.
She's going to come around when you tell her. Be as gentle as possible. And I would also say to you that if you can afford it, I would hand her. If you can afford it, I would hand her. And that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say to you.
But be prepared for that big explosion, that crying, that shock.
And understanding that it will come down.
It'll
will
settle.
It will settle out.
It'll settle.
But
Yeah.
I do agree, like just having something physical that you can like do, or like the gift card is really good.
Just
Other
thought.
options are like, plans for Christmas or Thanksgiving, or any holidays that you can
Right.
give to them or things like that. Like having some sort of showing them that you know that this is a big step, you know that it's painful. I've thought about it. This is what I want to give you.
Absolutely. And my cousin Linda taught me this. She had 4 grandchildren living from Florida to, they were in Virginia. Her husband got transferred there. They were there 4 years. And she always said, my grandkids are 4 hours away. She said, my grandkids are 4 hours away, a flight. And, she kept close with them. They FaceTimed. And I will tell you that it does work out. And I was, if Lily would move to Hawaii, wherever she might go one day, it'll be fine. But I'm just saying, just get ready but it's nothing you're doing wrong. You should definitely do your career. We all have to do our things for ourselves. Our children look to us to think of ourselves. We're going to be good leaders that way as women. We have to be ambitious. It's important.
My plan with my boys now is I tell them terrible things about everywhere else other than where we live. I'm
Right.
planting it in them young.
20 years from now, you're going to be thinking like, oh my gosh, I made that mistake.
They're gonna be like, I can't leave San Diego County because on Riverside you get swallowed by landslides.
Yeah.
I'm telling them that stuff all the time now.
I know,
They
it's
never
funny.
want to move.
Even though she's married, she started out married to a corporal and she's made it out of air. She now owns 3 houses, and I think it's just so that you're gonna get one more so that the boys will never leave San Diego.
Got a house.
Leave. Never leave.
I think she's doing Zoom sex, but it's just my opinion.
Oh, me?
I have no idea how you're doing what you're doing.
Oh, also, just on that note, while we're here, I might have to move away someday from Mike's job.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
We
like,
know
if
that.
I can get this on record.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
And look
I
at
don't
how
know.
great I'll be about it.
Like, he's very, yeah.
Right. In the dry run, when you told us
I
that
already
you're
bought the shop. Maybe,
Right.
maybe that's the plan.
we just the dry, do a couple of those.
Do a couple of those.
I'm going to Appleton tomorrow, you guys. This has nothing to do with topic.
You're just excited about going
Because-
to Wisconsin.
Yes, because people ask me, where'd you go on the tour that you like the best? What's your favorite city? I have to say, all the fabulous places. It's so hard to do this, but one of my first cities was Appleton, Wisconsin. People go, what? Do you really enjoy like 5,000 piece jigsaw puzzles with the color white? Is that what you enjoy? Why would you enjoy Appleton more than any other city you've been? I'll tell you why. Because Pierce fire trucks are built in Appleton, Wisconsin. And I got there on a Wednesday night. All the bars are going like crazy. There's a bar called Cleo's. It's constant Christmas year-round. All Christmas girls.
Wait.
Yes, Cleo's bar in Appleton. All Christmas,
Wait, I've
all
seen
the
these
time.
photos with you.
Yes.
Keep going.
I go in, I think I'm in a gay bar. There's all these gorgeous men. And I'm this isn't gay. What's going on? It doesn't smell quite delicious enough to be a gay bar.
Right.
I'm like, this
What
smells
does
like
a gay
a
bar smell
well, they
like?
smell like men's cologne and
They feel
good stuff.
More
Like
fresh.
they've been to the gym, but they toweled off.
Yes.
and so,
Sounds awful.
no, it's good. I love this. Bar just
I
smelled
missed
like
it. Got it.
straight bar
No,
just smelled
no.
like sweat and no towel.
got
off.
it.
Yeah.
And I started looking at all these gorgeous men, and there's like three women, me, another woman, and the bartender. I said, what's going on? And they I said hello, and this guy goes, oh, I'm a firefighter Frank from San Mateo. I'm like, what? And they're all firefighters now
Nice.
because they build Pierce fire trucks there. So I mean, it was a time of my. That's why I say, if you're going to a bachelor party, don't go to Palm Springs. Go to Appleton. Go to Cleo's. I mean, and they all stay at the Red Lion Inn. That's where they all stay. So all you have to do is hang out in the lobby at the Red Lion Inn, just catch whatever drunk fire. I'm serious. So I had the best time. So now though, I'm not gonna go into Cleo's bar because I'm terrified of going to bars. I'm 62. I can't get the COVID. So I'm just gonna stand outside the window and say, how much is that fireman in the window? The one
Are you gonna wink at him?
giant axe.
Does that mean I'm hanging out with Lou this weekend?
Yeah, you are.
Are you going Sans Lou or are you going Unsupervised?
No, Lou's going.
Okay.
You think I care if Lou's? It's a bunch of firemen. Lou knows how I am. I'm gonna fill that tank.
That's
You
right.
know.
Nice.
You do have a weak
Lou's
spot
gonna
for
put the
fire.
fire out.
Oh, who doesn't have a weak spot for firemen?
I mean, come
But
on.
I think I am the queen. So did we have it?
Oh, we've got a bunch of them trying to go through.
I'm
Let's get to let's go to Cameron in Monterey.
15. He's saying 15 minutes. Okay.
Hey, Cameron.
Okay, so Cameron in Monterey is asking for advice. Says, Vicki, I wonder if you can give me advice on how to reconnect with my mother. She never liked my wife. She was terrible to my wife, actually. Finally, my wife said, you have to choose between my mother and my wife, and I chose my wife, so I have not had any contact with my mother for 6 years. My wife and I have been in therapy, and we have come to an agreement that I can reach out to my mother and lay some ground rules to make my wife comfortable as we reopen the relationship. My therapist is vague. Do you have any ideas on how to approach my mother after all this time?
First of all, way to choose on that first choice. Way to choose your wife. Second of all, how gracious of your wife to go to therapy with you and say, I'll give your mom another shot to make you happy.
Right.
So you can reconnect with your mom.
Right, yeah.
That is, I think a mom would love to hear from you. And I think you have to just lead with your heart. You never lead with your heart. When you speak to her, just remember her as her best, as her very best self, and speak to her as you remember her very best, holding your hand, taking you into the school, going to the grocery store with her, whatever thoughts you have that made you happy when she was out in the stands watching you play Little League, when she was comforting you, whatever she did and those wonderful things you remember about her, put that in your heart and then come to her and say, Mom, I'm, however you want to put it, but however you feel about the separation, you'd like to reach out and reconnect and then let her talk a bit. And then after you do that, don't say there's going to be ground rules right in the very beginning, but then after you talk with her, feel her and say, Mom, I love my wife very much. And I want you to know that she's supportive of me reaching out to you. And, the reason we split up, Mom, and I want you to know, I want you to think about how much I love my wife and how happy it'll make me if you are kind to her, Any other
that's really
thoughts,
good.
girls, on that?
Because I think it's important to not go tit for tat on past arguments,
Right.
but to break the pattern. So it sounds like instead of being like, hey, you said this one thing, you said this thing, you said that thing, it's like, well, now we're moving forward. And so just to be like, we're going to move forward with knowing that I love my wife very much. And it would make me happy if that's how you talk. And that's how we're going to talk from now on. Just kind of we're not, you don't have to revisit every past argument or you're so mean or this and that, but you just go forward with, this is how we're going to do it now. And just in a real kind way, just really, yeah.
And also,
I just want to say, try not to use the word you.
Right.
yeah.
Because then when you say you, the person you're talking about usually feels attacked.
Good call.
And
Yeah.
so
Right.
you
Queen
say
of
like,
attack.
I want us to have a relationship again. We need to make sure we're doing it
Wow.
a certain
that's
way.
right.
So yeah, you didn't know I was like that.
That's
Good
really
Yeah,
important
that's
stuff,
really
though. The
I
I
think
statements
yeah.
versus you.
Yeah,
I
I's
like-
and you's, but
Yeah.
like we's and us.
Yes.
I like what you said, like the we thing, and also like I think that kind of like we were talking about earlier, like maybe be prepared that I wouldn't go. That the option is that it doesn't go great,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and like maybe like at the end of like going. For me, knowing worst case scenario really helps.
Yes.
So understand that might be a scenario, and just knowing that if you go in there and it doesn't go well, at the end of the day, you still get to go back to your wife who loves you and who supported you through this, and you still have that to hold on to.
Right.
And that would give me confidence going into this situation.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
but it's probably, I mean, like you said, a mom would love to, but just know that you have that anchor in your relationship with your partner.
You know, Mom, Mike, I was lucky enough to meet your mom when we were in Chicago, and she and I have to say, his mom and I are like pretty
I've
much.
got a video of it.
We're like,
BFF.
I mean, we're pretty much BFF.
Okay.
I'm not kidding you. She's one of the people. Immediately I met her, I'm like kindred. We
Nice.
just so I love her. Did you ever have a time where you were on the outs with her at all? Ever for a period?
Not really on the outs. I mean, I left Chicago when I was 17 for the Marine Corps.
Right.
I mean, the only thing that really happened is she didn't want to sign the papers and send me away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because I was leaving before I turned 18, so she had
Yeah.
to, sign me away.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I told her, I was like, look, you can either sign the papers and let me do what I want to do with my life and do something positive and be a Marine, or you can just make me stay here all summer.
Right.
Could end up resenting you.
Right.
And I'm still going to go. It's just prolonging it and putting a strain on our relationship.
That was a huge.
And then she said,
And
"Thank
she
you."
signed them off. And she signed the papers and I left.
And she's so proud of you.
Right.
So proud of everything you've ever done, as we all are.
But we
Thankful.
do have our little things like during the football season, every Sunday we're on the phone during the Bears games.
Oh, I love
First up is
that.
fun together.
Oh, I love that.
great.
So,
The Bears.
but we do have less than 10 minutes left.
Okay. Oh dear.
Do we have some better than sex cake over there?
Oh my God. Okay. Lily is gluten free. Oh, you know what's better than sex cake is also the Genius Pipe. I
Yes.
just picked it up because it will certainly make you hungry for cake. No.
That's so funny.
The thing about the new pot, I guess it doesn't make you hungry. They figured that out.
Huh.
Yeah.
So,
It makes you unhungry. There's certain pots that'll make you
Tell me more about this. I'd like to know about.
Okay, she doesn't. Both my daughters are.
No, but I would love to have something that made me less hungry.
Okay, well, I've heard about it, but I've
I'm
never
always
actually
hungry.
found it. I think it's a lie.
I think you made it up
But
just now.
but again, if you do smoke and you know a smoker, especially now when we have to keep our lungs clear, this is a Genius Pipe, and I found it when we were in a long time ago in Salt Lake City, and these guys told Lou that worked at the club, Lou, you've got to use this pipe. It's so much better and safer. So it's a Genius Pipe, and I'm a real believer. I just believe in it, and I love it so much. The Genius Pipe, go to geniuspipe.com, all about it. Watch the videos. It's got these little bubbles inside, and it catches the tar, and it makes the smoke come out at room temperature. And it's a lot safer. And like Lou used to cough all the time, and now he never does. So that's just a proof that it actually works. And geniuspipe.com.
What's
And
the
if you
big
buy
pipe?
it, there's the thing. If you buy one and you at the checkout, you say trailer, word trailer, and you get 20% off. Yeah, thank you, Genius Pipe.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
coupon code trailer.
Yep, coupon code trailer.
20% is a big.
It is a lot.
That's a big.
It is a lot. And everybody's been thanking us, and I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. And also to clean them, like Blue always says, that's one of your favorite parts.
Right.
Besides, for me, I love hearing no hacking, but you love cleaning them.
Yeah.
And so Lily is gluten free. She had realized she had an allergy.
Yeah, it's not by choice.
Right.
I love some people.
So I found this flourless peanut
Oh my God, so
chocolate cake recipe, which I put on my website, vickybarbolak.com. And I hope you guys like it. It's super easy to make, you guys.
It smells like a
Isn't it weird? There's no flour in it, and it actually
Sorry,
looks like a
yeah.
cake. I don't know if you guys can't see.
This
If
is
you-
shocking, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like, so cake and is a hard thing to do gluten free. Mom, you did very well. I'm
Thanks.
very impressed.
It's very
It's
moist.
coconut flour. It's regular coconut. No, it's regular. No,
You said-
there's no flour in
I was
it.
like, if you said
Flour.
Mhm.
There's 0 flour. There's 4 eggs, baking soda,
Oh.
and
That
vanilla,
coconut sugar.
peanut butter.
I
Yeah.
know, yeah, but the peanut
Baking.
smell is amazing.
Yeah, and
Gosh,
it's
what
so
in the
easy, you
world?
guys.
It smells so good. It really smells like a giant
Yeah.
What is
Reese's peanut butter cup.
what is the,
Love it.
what's the frosting? How would you do that?
All you do is you melt dark chocolate chip cookies and peanut butter in a pan.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
And they're gluten-free
Mhm.
cookies. It would be so bad if she blew up right now at the end of the podcast. Would that be a way to close it though?
It's on VickiBarbolak.com, right?
Yeah, VickiBarbolak.com. Seriously, guys, this is super easy and for your
So good.
peanut butter gluten free.
Oh, so good.
Ooh, you know what it needs? It needs like a cup of like a tea or like
Oh yeah.
maybe like some coffee like
For
with that.
sure.
Oh, that'd be so good.
It's
Yeah.
really moist. I love it.
Well, I'm so happy. So it's a fabulous fabulous flourless peanut chocolate cake, and yeah, you can make it for your gluten-free friends or for yourselves because it's very light when there's no flour, isn't it?
And sometimes gluten-free cakes taste gluten-free.
Yeah.
You're like, this tastes like there's something. That doesn't have a weird, that tastes like a normal cake.
Awesome. Did you like it, Mikey? Did you try it?
No, nobody gave me a
Oh my
gosh!
gosh! Oh my
Sorry.
gosh! I'm the
You're a
worst.
bunch of little piggies.
Sorry.
I'll have some in a little bit. Let's
Oh,
close out the
boy.
show. We only have like 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Well, I just honestly, I thank you all so much for watching, and it means so much to me. I love all your comments. It's fantastic, and I know that these are weird times, and we all are going through.
Yes.
We're going through, but we all we're in it. When they say we're in it together, I really do think we're in it together.
Hmm.
And if you have any questions or any want us to reach out to you, go to the Ask Vicki at VickiBarbolak.com. I'd love to talk with you, and I'm super excited about being in Appleton this weekend.
Woo!
Yep. I'm a little tiny bit afraid, but not that afraid.
No,
Because-
don't be afraid.
We just be as careful as we can.
Yep.
And it's really fun to try to live our lives as much as possible.
And
That's what we have to do.
yeah. And you
Yeah.
gotta go to those firemen.
How
That's it.
much is that fireman in the window? The one with the big mustache. Oh,
Big
yeah.
mustache. Oh my God. Love that.
Thank you, Jesus. Life is good. And we're bringing Jimmy. And next week, I'm excited. My friend is going to come on. She is a dog medium,
Oh.
and she is going to come on and read Jimmy's, what do you call Jimmy's brain?
He probably just wants treats.
He probably just wants a better house.
You got the best trailer here, dude.
Yeah,
Come
we-
on.
He took me to the vet last week. Anyway, it's been great. I love you guys. Be safe, and we all love. Thanks so much for listening
Thank
and
you.
watching.